Hello and welcome back to the AusCast podcast. Today I am joined by my co-host Miles.
Hey, what's good? What's good?
Ronan.
So,
Simplism. Robot. And of course our special guest for this episode, offlords.
Did you introduce the episode with Italian?
Dude. Listen, you viewers didn't hear it. But before I started recording, I counted up in Italian uno, dos,
Oh wait,
tres.
it was Spanish.
Wait, was it?
Am
I bad?
Dos, tres.
Oh shit!
Bilingual.
oh, she's bilingual.
Alright,
Damn,
so as I mentioned last episode, I said we should probably have offlords on, and he's here. So what we're gonna do is probably gonna go through a few series of questions about AusHeroes and stuff like that, and then we're gonna move on to I think anything really. Just this podcast is mostly improv, so whatever.
Yep.
Alright, so I think what we can start with, I'm not really good with starting stuff, but like, okay, so what made you like want to start AusHeroes? What was like the motivation for it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the motivation for AusHeroes, or the lack of motivation in my older server, Lord Realm. So after that shut down and everything, I was approached by that Kawaii Sam to be manager on a server called Village MC and work on the Skywars server they were planning to introduce. So I get to work on that, and one thing leads to another. Village MC decides not to release, and so I just took the Skywars and put it on AusHeroes.
Oh, okay.
Okay then.
So yeah,
Whoa.
AusHeroes was legitimately made because someone didn't want to release it on their server.
Wow.
That is crazy, man. That is crazy.
And I think Kawaii Sam's like changed over time, hasn't he? Like he hasn't been the brightest person.
He didn't like me for a while, but I think he's okay with me now. I don't know. I don't talk to him very much.
Fair enough.
Fair enough,
did you expect AusHeroes to grow as much as it did? Or
At the time when I released, I just thought I would focus primarily on Skywars for the whole time the server was out. But eventually, I worked on then ranked Skywars, and then ranked Skywars led to practice or AusDuels, and then everything just kept going from there. So I didn't expect it to grow, but once I got the ball rolling, things just started happening.
What would you consider like the biggest moment of growth? Like not the day the most amount of players started joining, but like when it really spiked up.
Around February 2018 was when people started seeing the server in a more serious manner, because that was when I released survival games, and I think that hit around 57 or something players, which then was unbeaten until the anniversary in December of 2018.
Yeah, that was around the time I joined too, February 2018.
Yeah,
crazy.
I think I did as well.
Yeah, that
It's
that
come a
really
long way.
boosted it.
I think that, with upcoming stuff that you've been working on, especially since then, I remember when I first met you, I was asking you about YouTube rank. It was like the first thing I asked you, I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure like AusDuels was called AusDuels at the time. And like it didn't have like a version with it. It was just chilling there with Skywars and parkour. And I remember like the first lobby so vividly. It was just like that little circular wooden thing with just a grass island. It was so simplistic, but like, it throws you back so much, and it just reminds you of how much of the server has grown.
It really does, man. Yeah. It's crazy, dog.
You've done and you're one of the only developers. Like, what have you not developed on the server? If you want to talk about that.
Well, the main thing that I work on at the moment is just the Oz Fights core. So with that comes kit PvP tournaments. I don't work on things like the permissions system, and then things like UHC and UHC meetup. I try to only work on things that I feel is better to have a lot of flexibility with, and things that I can easily work on over time. So yeah, there's quite a lot that isn't mine.
Okay, that's interesting. So
Yeah.
what do you, like? Okay, so when all heroes started blowing up, what was like your top priority? What did you want the server to have the most?
Oh, the goals for the server changed so drastically in 2018. There were so many things. People first wanted survival games, so I did that, and then parkour was that, and then the server started to grow, so we did new hubs and we redid the practice to have more modes, and then we made it only ranked, and then we removed ranked completely. Then we added a ranked option in. There's just been so many different things, but the main goal was just to provide a community for Australian players that wasn't HCF and wasn't survival, because there was no real middle ground.
You want it to be like different to HCF servers. Is that right? Like, what made you like want to stray away from HCF?
I owned an HCF server called AusHCF with Resi, early 2018. Around March, April, we started doing things, and I just found it really unfun to manage. And I realized that a lot of players would often play Hypixel and then just play HCF, and so they were really playing in two very different sorts of communities, and there was an obvious gap between what they expected from each. So I just wanted to allow people to play more of an Australian version of Hypixel.
Okay. So I'm trying to think of a good way to word this question. So, like, with motivation, especially, because for me with YouTube, I struggle a lot with motivation. So I sort of like, I wouldn't say gave up or quit, but I sort of postponed it because I didn't want to do it, and my computer just couldn't even handle it. So like, who do you think gave you the most motivation throughout AusHeroes?
A lot of there have been a lot of people, obviously, people that donated a lot. So Sweaty Meme, I think.
Oh my god.
What the hell?
That was nothing. You heard nothing. But yeah, continue. That was it probably was someone.
Okay.
Sweaty Meme was
Don't
probably
mind
the
that.
first
Yeah,
person.
Sweaty Meme. Don't mind that, folks. Don't mind that. That was my.
Okay, Miles, relax. It's okay.
I think it was too many cleans. You know, too many cleans.
Okay.
I cleaned a lot of
Dude,
plates.
you're stressing out. Relax, bro.
No. I'm relaxing. Go on. Come on. No, I'm joking.
Sweaty Meme.
Yeah, so Sweaty Meme, I think one night he donated 120 or 160
Oh, really?
dollars
Yo, 100
just
was
in one transaction, and that made me realize that people did actually have a lot of faith in the server. A lot early people like Zemparon as well, Slow Nerd, because he would help with a lot of stuff. I forgot what his original name was.
Mr.
Which
Curious.
one?
Mr. Curious, I think.
Yeah.
No, not Slow Nerds. His name was something like. His
Joey
name
Boy.
was Transperth for a while. Yeah, let me just quickly check a name MC for this guy.
Alright, take your time, Chief.
Was that like hard to take in that amount of money?
Spasm. That was his name. But yeah, there was just
Spasm.
Oh my god, dude.
there were so many different people that would just be so active in the community, and then there was just so many different influential figures over so many different times.
Yeah.
What about like Mango Syrup and Lane? What the partner rank was?
Yeah.
Well, the partner rank for Mango Syrup was more the fact that I owned the Oceania MC thing with Discord with him, and we were really good friends at the time. But yeah, nowadays I don't really talk to him as much.
Oh, why is that?
I still chat to him just every now and then, but I don't
So
know.
much has changed.
He doesn't play as much, and I do, and I just try to focus on AusHeroes way more.
Oh yeah, I see where you come from, because like a lot can happen in that time span. Like there's always a departure, and like you spend less time with people like as you go along. So it's pretty fair, man. I get it.
Yeah, And then Lil Lane just had partner because he would help me a lot with programming. But just like Mango, not so much anymore.
Do you and Mango still have that like connection? You know, that like strong connection. Like if I'm in trouble, then like I'm gonna
You
hit
still
him
have the
up.
friendship you had now in the past.
Yeah,
Has it
yeah,
changed
yeah.
at all?
Yeah, I still talk to him I'll talk to him at least once a week in DMs or something. He'll just ask to add stuff on AusHeroes, or I'll just talk to him about different things. So yeah, we're definitely good friends. But I just don't chat to him as much as I used to.
I see.
So drifting back to Skywars, with Skywars being the main theme, do you think that do you find Skywars to be like less motivating to do now, or what?
Well, the only reason I stopped doing Skywars for as long was because because I was using a public plugin for it at first. There was very little things I could change with it.
Yeah.
And so now, with the latest version, I custom coded it. I never really got to finish it, but it's definitely still a mode that I'm looking into and want to work on. It's
think
just
that-
that at the moment there's a lot less time to do that.
So you're saying it can possibly come back in the future?
Possibly would probably be an understatement, but
Ooh.
there's
Big words go. Okay. So
Got
I
horses
think
in-
that this the Skywars duels is really keeping people engaged with that too, like especially with the progression that Fights has made. Isn't there like what I think, 15? I think there's about 15 different duels.
yeah, there's 15 at the moment.
Yeah, so
Ooh.
it's crazy to see how much it's changed. Because I remember when there was literally only 4, and I think it was there was Skywars, Soup, no debuff, and I think it was either Sumo or UHC. Oh no, it was MCSG. It was MCSG. Like this was really early stages. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, it was definitely early stages, you know, back.
Yeah, that it must have been really early then.
Yeah, 100%.
It was like I was surprised how early on I joined in, but like now like looking back on it and seeing how when the kits were added, like the amount of bugs there were, it's funny. It's funny to think about now, and yeah. But another question, because I'm actually so curious. You're working on a lot right now, aren't you? Like you've got tournaments, party games, Skywars, UHC. Like how much are you working on behind the scenes that you want to talk about?
Well, things like party games has obviously I've been trying to work on since September. It's been
Holy.
it's been on and off a lot, but that's definitely something I'm really hyped to get a shown version of very, very soon. UHC, I talk to the developer that works on that a lot, and I exchange different ideas with him and stuff like that. Tournaments and Fights, along with parties and Fights, is probably the most important thing to me at the moment, and they're the highest priorities. So they're the main 3 things I'm working on.
Okay.
Fair
So,
enough.
I was thinking about getting Poison Shadows on, but I don't think there's much to talk about with the staff team because not a lot of people care about that. Let's be honest.
There's so much beef within that area. There's
Yeah.
like so much drama.
Actually, I'm curious. Offlords, why do you think so many people dislike people on the staff team?
Yeah.
Like, do you have an idea of that? Like, I don't say they genuinely hate them or there's like a fueling, burning passion to literally like hang someone on the staff team.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
like, why do you think that hatred is between the players and the staff team?
A lot of people, it's less with the staff team and more with the rules that the staff team are told to enforce. Things like not saying easy and L. If someone's not aware of that and they get muted for it, they blame the staff instead of blaming the set of rules. A lot of people still think that just because AusHeroes has practice as a gamer, we treat the server's chat like a toxic HCF or normal server's chat. Lots of things are still trying to be stricter to go for that more family-friendly environment, you can say. So people
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I see
lots
where you're
of
coming from.
people just get angry with minute rules that they weren't aware about, and then just blame staff for punishing.
And that's the sad part, taking your anger out of staff, when in reality you should just be focusing on the rules. It's basically telling the instructor, but the instructor's just following the rules, so who's the main culprit?
I
Yeah.
remember really early on. I can't remember how long ago, but I think it was when I can't. Oh Jesus! I think
You
it was
can
probably like a
remember it.
month. I think maybe around a month after Creative Plots was like released. I can't remember exactly when, but it was like the lobby with like the massive tree in the middle, and it had like the cobblestone and gravel like start. I can't explain it that well, but because I'm bad.
The second one.
Yeah, I think it was the second one, and I think it was Cashbro. Cashbro like just got mod at the time. And I don't know
Yeah.
why, but I was having a really bad day, and I just took out all my anger on him, and I was like, "No, I'm done. Just take the YouTube rank from me. I'm done." And I remember I DM'd you offlords. I was like, "Just take it away, dude. I'm fucking done." And I was really mad, and I had to I apologized to Cashbro later. Like like I don't hate anyone on the staff team. Like sure, like I get riled up a little bit, and like mess around and stuff like that. But it's
I
not
see
like
why.
it's not like I genuinely hate anyone. But I feel like a lot of those players just have those bad days and they flip out. But most of the time, obviously, it's just toxic behavior, and it's just like that ego that they need to fuel.
Yeah, and that's where the issue stems from, because people don't realize that this is a game, right? This is just
Minecraft is life.
it's a virtual machine, basically, right? You play it, you just have to accept it, right? But people just somehow in this mind think they're above, right? And they try to twist that in the game, right? They try to put that input it, and they think they're above people, and it consumes them. It's a very disgusting thing. It's very poisonous,
Well, that also relates to like the anonymity of being online and behind a screen.
100%, because nowadays in this generation we have computers, we have all that stuff. We can literally have that confidence, especially introverts as well, extroverts. But that's a different subject. But Nate, take it, take the wheel right now. Take the wheel.
So, offlords, especially with toxicity throughout the server, what do you think? Okay, I'm trying to figure out a good way to like play this out. But what like worries you the most with players on the server? Like, do you think like there'll be a player that just ruins it all?
Yeah, hackers, griefers.
Like, okay, this is blowing it way out of proportion, but let's take this treason guy when he took down Limit. Like, are you afraid a player like that might come along, but not like take down the server, but put a bad reputation on it, spread some rumors and people actually believing it? Like, are you afraid of that sort of stuff ever happening, or do you think that's secure enough?
I don't think there's any one person within the Australian community, unless it were to be Mango Syrup, even then, that would have the power to spread a lot of rumors about the server that would affect the core player base. A lot of people that would be on the fence, because there's obviously the Limit versus AusHeroes sort of divide. So a lot of the Limit players would then probably talk down about AusHeroes because of the said rumors, but the AusHeroes players, I doubt, would really believe too much of what's being said.
Yeah. And unless you have like a mole in your staff team, or basically, then yeah. Unless you have like a mole.
I really don't think there's anything.
Oh, I know.
Staff are treated or
I know.
anything behind the scenes that is sketchy.
Wait.
You're trying to subliminally say something like as a staff member yourself.
I'm just like saying, like, if like like with every business, right? With every business, you always gotta like be on guard on like who you talk to, but because you don't really like, you can trust them, but like you have to like just get to know them all and all that. That's all, man. I'm just saying that's all. But yeah, take it. Continue. Sorry.
Dude,
I'm sorry if I'm diving deep. Okay, I like this discussion. quick.
Yo,
Miles
chill.
should call out the AusHeroes.
What? No.
Turns out, next thing you know, Miles is just an undercover cop, just trying to get details.
Oh my god.
What the?
What the hell?
Crazy.
These
Okay.
Miles gathering evidence against Scott.
No.
Yes. Yes, yes.
I mean, I'm
Exposed.
whizzing
What?
past. I made a diss track. I mean, me and Ron made a diss track. So check that out. You know, me and made a diss track. But yeah.
I'll put the link in the description if you guys
Yeah,
want to check
put
out
the link,
music.
guys. Check the diss track out. We killed him. We killed
It's
him.
actually, I listened to it just before the podcast, like a little bit of it. It actually sounded pretty decent. Not gonna lie.
Hey,
I'm
hey,
pretty
hey.
impressed. But
All right, but yeah.
so with the Limit versus OzHeroes thing, and I know this is a topic that I hear a lot whenever I log on Limit too. I feel like this is a question you might not want to answer, but what is the deal with knockback? I feel like knockback is such a big component for server practice especially, and a lot of people could prefer Limit KB over OzHeroes KB. And you've played around with it a few times. Do you think you'll mess around with it in the future, or do you think it's fine where it is?
I think that knockback is obviously something that is highly subjective. You can basically compare knockback to your favorite smoothie flavor. Everyone obviously will have a different preference, but the less picky people will complain less than the more picky people. So from what I can tell, a lot of the very hardcore pop players don't like it because they're more used to more refined KBs and things. So it's obviously something that I'm looking into all the time, taking in valid criticism about knockback and looking into ways to improve the different values and the method in which knockback is processed and whatnot. But at the moment, it's in a decent spot, but there's definitely more that I want to do to it.
Yeah.
So
It's a good business strategy.
Okay, so I'm trying to think of other things, but I mean, okay, this is something. I think that's something we can dive deep into. But what do you think is what was quote unquote the darkest time for OzHeroes, and maybe not like not just for OzHeroes, but for you when developing it? Like, what was a point where you were like, I should just quit, I'm done with this? Or what was a point where you're like, OzHeroes might not make it? Like, what were like points in time for you for them?
There's been a couple different times where I was either unhappy with myself on how I managed the server or unhappy with the server overall. It was more, I think it was around mid 2018. It was similar to what was happening now, where a lot of the big AE servers were starting to leave. Big names like Mindbow when Reebok owned it. Mine Corner came back and went away. PvP Cove had left as well. And there was a stage where there was pretty much no Australian servers out, but OzHeroes was still pulling less than 10 players at a time. And I really just thought if the situation is this desperate for people to want to play and they won't even just play the server, there's no point. But I pushed through, and then I don't know, it's just a lot of HCF servers, they can always pull much larger player counts because of the nature of the mode and the reach that HCF servers can get. And so that's always made me a little bit upset, but I don't know. Also, in late 2018 as well, when TAFE was starting up, I was very unsure whether I would have enough time to continue heavily with OzHeroes and if that was going to be a feasible thing to do. But that's all good now. I feel that OzHeroes is now in a comfortable position for me to fit my lifestyle and also to fit the community's needs, where I don't have to be on as much as I used to be, but I can still push the same amount of updates, if not more, because of changes I've made.
Do you think that having a second owner, like a staff owner, so basically, do you think hiring Poison Shadows for owner as the staff manager, like permissions manager, do you think that was a really good idea to help give you more time to focus on schooling and stuff like that?
Poison Shadows has been an immense help to the server, even before he was an owner as a manager. He's basically been running the staff team for, I'm not exactly how long, definitely over 6 months, probably closer to 9. He's taken that massive weight off my shoulders of needing to manage the staff team, hire people, micromanage them in game. All those different things he's just been doing for me. And he's also been very, very into planning updates and working directly with me on the best ways to implement them. And it's just been really nice having someone else to bounce ideas off and really get to the nitty gritty with server stuff with.
Mm-hmm.
Unreal, man, unreal. It's
You know,
crazy.
like a lot of people may throw flack at AusHeroes, throw flack at like Limit and all that shit. But at the end of the day, there's so much more that goes into it, and no matter what you say to these owners, and especially like the guys at the Hypixel team, no matter how much you throw at them, they're not just gonna give up because of what some people said. They're not just gonna give up because someone said your server's trash, fix KB. Like they don't care. You're one player. It's your preference. Like obviously they do care in a way, because you know they get feedback, constructive criticism, whatever. But like a message from, you know, I think from me, because this is something that I've always wanted, like the Minecraft community, not just Australia, but just Minecraft community in general.
Yeah.
You know, the game's PvP community is dying down. You know, like there might be a new PvP system, combat system coming in soon, but like just know that, you know, someone on the other side of the screen's not having a good day. They just want to play Minecraft PvP for fun. Just don't ruin it for them. You know, just say GG, have a good time, and that's all you need to do.
Just like have fun in general, right? Like just do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, hard.
Yeah,
So-
Holmes. Yeah.
Let's throw back a little bit from AusHeroes. Before you were like doing a lot of development and like, you know, Minecraft server any, what got you into Minecraft? Like were you like a kid, like just going through a phase, like a what offlords?
Around probably 9, 10 years of age, I had a friend from primary school called Lewis, and he introduced me to, I don't know if any of you guys have played this, but Minecraft Classic on the web
Oh.
browser.
Maybe.
Oh,
You could play a really old version of Minecraft on the Minecraft.net website.
oh yeah, I played that.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, it was.
I would-
Oh my god, dude.
I would play that a lot with him, and because I just assumed from playing that the game was free, I asked my dad to get me the game, and he got me a pirated copy of 1.8 beta. And I remember so vividly playing survival, and then I would talk to friends about school. We'll talk to Minecraft with friends at school as well. And I found out that one of my closer friends, James, also played Minecraft, and we would go over to each other's house, and we played Skyblock. And I remember this so clearly. I was playing Skyblock with him, and we were kind of just bragging about how good we were. And he's like, "Oh, okay, you can have a go." And this was one of the early Skyblock maps where it was the grass island, and then you had to build over to the desert island.
Oh my
I didn't
God.
know that the shift key made you crouch so you couldn't fall off blocks. So I would
my
try
God.
to run along and kind of speed bridge, and I would always fall off. And then he just said, "Why aren't you holding shift?" And it was just like, that makes so much sense. And so yeah, I've got so many good memories with early Minecraft and stuff. It's just so insane.
Would you
How
consider
long I've played the game.
would you consider Minecraft to be
Oh my-
a timeless game compared to any other?
It's definitely, for me, the game that I've invested the most time and effort into playing. I've started making servers since I was 13 years old, and I've just been doing so much stuff with the game. I would play survival servers, I would play Mineplex, Hypixel. It's a game with so much flexibility and so much creativity being allowed to be put into it, that it's got so much life in it that I doubt there's going to be the reach and the popularity that Minecraft has.
Hmm.
It's crazy, dog.
This came up just recently. I read about this yesterday, but apparently, I'll create a Minecraft. I think this will be the last topic we go over, and then we'll end it. But Notch, apparently
Oh, he
said,
got removed.
yeah, he got removed from the title screen stuff. Notch got
Oh,
removed from that.
sheesh.
Oh, I
And,
saw that.
Yeah, I think it was because of like some, I don't know, some like offensive
Tweet he did
trans-
about transgender people.
yeah, and about how it links to communism and stuff like that. I'd have to find the screenshot again, but it was really messed up. And
Jesus.
so they removed it from the title screen, not the credits. He's still in the credits, but you know the title screen stuff, like created by Notch and that stuff.
Bro,
Like-
that's dog.
It's not
Yeah,
really
Minecraft
dog.
created Notch under fire for transphobic tweets.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
it.
that, like, it's just that, I mean, I can see where Notch is coming from, but I can also see, like, if you censor, like, opinions and all that, then...
But that's the topic we're gonna go into next episode. like
Yeah, next
censorship on the
episode. Well,
internet.
stay tuned, okay? And make sure to turn on to subscribe to this booth.
Turn on
So,
notifications.
I,
subscribe, like.
with that topic of him saying that, I feel like the media blows it way out of proportion. Maybe he
100%, man.
said something like, you know, maybe he said something like, oh, you know, I don't understand the mindset. Just something really like, not low key, but really like subtle. And so,
Yeah.
and
people
so
take it over the top.
Microsoft just threw him out. And I feel
Yeah,
like they were
man.
waiting for the perfect moment to do that. And so
It's
that's
like what happened with the
difficult.
director of Guardians of the Galaxy. Or
Yeah.
maybe a small racist joke. They take it to another proportion.
Like, yeah, and see, that's kind of the issue, like, with the media. I mean, well, they tend to kind of twist, like, those subjects. And
They take the smallest things and make it the worst thing.
yeah, man, hyperbole, my guy, hyperbole.
Especially,
change people's
I think
perspective.
a prime example of that is Kevin Hart hosting the
Yeah.
Oscars.
Yes.
I'm thinking,
Yeah.
how, do you remember how long? Like, was it 8 years ago? He said something about his son being. His
Oh
son was
yeah,
gay,
yeah, yeah. He said
And
it,
then
a
he
lot-
got
a lot-
slammed.
He got a lot of backlash from a lot of people because, like, you know, because obviously the media and, you know, when people like look at that, they say, oh, okay, this is not great, this is not great. But when you like kind of rewatch it and
What the?
think in your own to be like, question mark.
Who's at the top? Bottoms up. When
Well-
But yeah, I feel like there was an overreaction
Yeah.
with some of that.
That's
Yeah,
all.
for sure.
It's the delusion of the media, man.
It's pizza
Offloads,
time.
Are you afraid that like you'll say something on Twitter, and then it might come back to bite you in the butt? Do you ever think that'll happen?
I've already said things on Twitter that have done that to me. This is a very lesser example,
Yep.
but I just left the house, and while walking out, I realized that I hadn't washed the dishes, and because I have to always wash the dishes, so I tweeted out, it's like, I just left and I forgot to wash the dishes, so I guess Dad's gonna have to do them. And then I got a text from my dad saying, you didn't do the dishes. I saw you do the job.
Wait, that-
This is why, like, on
Yeah.
like Twitter and stuff, you got to be very careful what you.
100%, because like the thing is, like, you know that guy called Roman, right? Lacoste, that guy, the tattoo artist.
The Romeo.
Yeah.
Because he's done famous tattoos, and like he said some stuff.
Yeah,
Twitter,
he
you
definitely
know.
said some crazy stuff. But yeah, we'll get into that sort of stuff next episode. I think
next episode.
I think that'll definitely be. I think next episode is going to be quite a long one. Anyway,
yeah,
But,
kind of long one, everyone.
I guess like with I wanted to make this podcast about AusHeroes because, especially last year around this time. No, okay, 13 months ago, year and a month ago, February especially, around when I joined AusHeroes. I think I was not in the best place, the best headspace. And so when I met a bunch of guys online, played Minecraft with them, even when Badland was still a thing, like, that really made my day. And today I went to Twitter and I posted something about relationships and, like an experience I had. And also I saw you reply to that, so thank you. But I had a friend, I got on the bus today and a friend from school messaged me. He follows me on Twitter. He messaged me like, yo, you all good? I'm like, yeah, I'm all good. He was asking me about it, he like really opened up. And so I see Twitter and almost any social media site a really good spot to, open up to people and talk to people. And
It's the
so
same with me, bro. After going like Headspace, and I said like on my Instagram and stuff,
exactly.
people started asking in person and at school and shit, if I was okay and shit, just hanging with my anxiety, like. Yeah.
Same here, homie. Same
Like
here. Good
Twitter,
stuff.
and I feel like with that connection that, especially that Twitter has, it's really good for Minecraft server owners and just Minecraft servers in general. So, like social media is a really good platform to help grow, Minecraft servers and stuff like that. But
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah,
So
man.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I know, like, okay, I just want to point out, I know it was just a lot of me and offlords talking throughout the
No,
podcast.
like we talked as well. We made
Hey, I
say-
know, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like I really took over this one, so
It's so good. It's
I
so
wanted
good.
to say sorry about that, but okay, I got a lot of I'm gonna call it constructive criticism from friends in real life. I got asked to stop talking about Minecraft, and I was like, shut up. That's all I got. That's all I got from friends in real life, to be honest. But you know, the podcast. I want this podcast to be able to branch out to anyone. And sure, it's starting with Minecraft, but you know, like.
Also, everyone, like,
Yours
just-
the club.
also don't let people determine who you are.
Yeah.
No, I
So
mean-
I think we're not gonna stop talking about Minecraft because that's something that
Oh no,
we've all like met through. It's something that we're.
Minecraft beats
taking
Fortnite.
on. But yeah, so next episode, I think we're gonna talk about censorship through the internet.
Yeah. Oh
peaceful
yeah, Article
songs.
13. Article 13. We're
I
gonna
mean,
talk
we can
about
talk a
that.
little bit about
Yeah,
that.
we can talk about that. All right. We got a new topic, boys.
You're a
Hmm.
dumb bully. This is
So-
why we live in Australia. we live in a society.
God damn
God damn it,
it.
man.
Right.
Simple as it may hear.
Offlords,
Yeah.
thank you for coming on the podcast. Thank you for talking about AusHeroes. You know, I don't know if for those who play AusHeroes and are listening,
Yeah.
I think
Thanks,
I
my
hope it was
Yeah,
really
thank
insightful.
you. Thank you for
Well, thanks for having me.
So,
Yeah.
No problem, my dude.
Yeah, dog.
The AusHeroes Discord link will be in the description below. The IP
Boom, boom.
also. And Miles's diss track.
Screw,
on
screw.
Scotch
Oh,
will be
Ronan's
down
this
here.
track, right? Ronan did
Hey,
this
and
track.
Ronan too, that's right.
Hey.
So, yeah, those links are going to be in the description below.
My birthday soon. Give me happy birthday wishes.
Happy birthday.
Happy 21st birthday.
Sorry.
Wait. Alright,
So that was just a
so,
cough. I'm sorry.
yeah, thank you Offlords
Yeah.
for coming on.
Thanks, offloads. Yeah.
And
No,
I know, dude. I'm just trying to do stuff. Okay,
What's this?
so yeah, that was you. This is the AusCast podcast, and
Yeah.
see you guys in the next one.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.